Hello, I thought I'd just do a quick build overview, I guess, on what I've played this season, and I played Gemling. I'm surprised there hasn't been as many Gemlings, less than 1%, and I think Gemling is quite good this season. There is some issues with it. Mainly its Ascendancy. There is a couple. The advanced thaumaturgy, I think, is pretty useless. I don't know anyone who's running this. I don't see how it fits into any build at the moment. I just don't think it works, considering that charges themselves don't have any effect passively, so you need to severely build around this. But I also don't think it grants charges quick enough. Once every 8 seconds isn't really quick enough. My initial thought was, you pair it with the charge regulation and you get effects for it, but considering that it consumes one of each charge every 10 seconds, and this requires int and dex, there will be an occasion in which you get a charge that you don't want, and then this skill will just consume both of them, and you're back to 0 charges. So it feels kind of bad. It doesn't grant charges quick enough to be useful. And yeah, it's just my 2 cents with that. And these travel nodes are garbage. Like, reduced attributes is just the worst. Just give me plus 2 attributes or something like you got down here. Maybe if it's plus 8 to all attributes, or plus 10 to an attribute that you want, it would be more useful, even if it is for gear, right? If you get plus 10 to strength, it can fix an attribute issue, especially if you're already getting increased attributes. 20% less attributes is crazy. You might think that the inherent bonuses from attributes is doubled is really good, and it is. 11k mana, like, it's insane. But how it works is the 20% is reduced before the bonuses, so technically you're only gaining 60%, and the attribute loss is huge, right? You can't even fix that on the passive tree. Like, you get the 3%, and you get your 7% down here, and that's it. You can't even fix that with the passive tree. So I think 20% is crazy. If it was 10%, or maybe if it wasn't less attributes but just inherent bonuses are like 0.5% instead of doubled, so like maybe they're 50%, I think would make it more exciting, because right now I think only life stackers and mana stackers will be the only people that ever take this, and it's still such a, like, you take it out of it, there's no other better option. Yeah, that's just my 2 cents. I liked these integrated efficiency. This was fun. I was playing a lightning rod. I wanted to play with like a living lightning rod build, and it worked well using Hoa. And there is a few builds I see running these. I like it. I think they're going in the right direction with that. And yeah, that's just my 2 cents for Gemling. And on to my build. As you can see, it's just a lot of int. As you saw in the intro, we are playing Dodre's Undoing, and if you don't know how that works by now, I'm probably not going to explain it, but you want to build int. And we are playing Frazzled. I have played around with Lightning Rod, and I have played around with Wildstorm, the maximum lightning damage. It all kind of works. Heck, you could probably just change all of this for int as well. I don't think it's really going to make too much of a difference. And because we are playing Archmage, we are picking up just all of the mana nodes. Things that are important, you do need to get these curse supports. Your faster curse activation and area effective curses. And we are coming down here to grab the mana recovery. Yeah, everything else is pretty straightforward for an Eldritch Battery Mind Over Matter setup. And for jewels, you want your spell damage, mana regen, and area effective curses. If you really want to min-max, somewhere here yet 2% increased int on all of them. I'm not there yet because hitting the right hitting the right desecration's a real bitch. You do want to make sure that you get faster curse activation, at least 2. I think I'm sitting at 96%, and that's fine. I know that you just shouldn't go over 100 with Dodres. It gets a bit weird. I haven't experienced it, but I also haven't gone over 100, so that's that. And now for the build, we aren't running any plus spells, so that's why I've gotten all of the jewels to get Curse Radius, to get our curse over that threshold. 4.9 is the threshold for getting the shotgun effect. I highly recommend if you're playing with a mouse to get 5. It just feels nicer. And that's why I run all jewels with that on there. And I'm not running any increase to spells because we want to keep our cost low. So we get mana cost efficiency on both our focus and wand, and then everything else is straightforward. You just want mana, energy shield, int, and your resistances. There's no crazy mechanics in play here, just straight mana and int. And as you can see, we got pretty high int, pretty high mana. You do want your mana regen to be on par with your cast speed, otherwise you will be running out of mana. I think for us, we have the moving thing, so we get more mana while moving, and that puts us over our threshold, and that works fine for us. So that's that. And yeah, for the other cost efficiency here, we've just got the Gemling support, 30% less cost. If you are struggling with getting area of effect or getting the right reduction for mana costs, instead of coming up here and picking up kind of this, I want the jewels, so that's why I came up here and I'm playing this way. But you can sacrifice this jewel socket and you can path through here, and you can path up through here, pick up these, and path up through here instead, and then you can get these the mana cost efficiency nodes. And I was doing that for a bit, and then you can have increased, like you can have plus to spells, because that will increase your curse radius and it'll increase your curse effect, but I find that it really doesn't change much. You're going to be deleting any mobs anyway, and the extra 2% elemental damage is negligible when it comes to bosses. So yeah, it is what it is. I've gone I've gone this route. Now I actually think Gemling is probably the best right now for Dodres. I've seen a lot of Lich, I've seen a Chronomancer, but just the sheer amount of int that we get means that if we turn on our Archmage here, that our Dodres is doing a insane amount of damage. I don't think I've seen anyone with as high of a damage on their Dodres. But in general, you could probably do this with anything. Do it with Spark if you really wanted to. But then you'd have to play like increase the spells and you know probably come over here and pick up the the +2 to all int spells and whatnot. And yeah, I just think the synergy works well. We can get really high damage, really low cost, and yeah, as you saw, it does what it needs to do. And yeah, all in all, I think it's pretty solid. I think Dodres might get nerfed. 200% int is crazy scaling, but considering how much people it doesn't, so it is crazy and it's not crazy because like this isn't affected by increased spells by anything. So like you can put as many +3, +5, +10 to all spells, whatever. This isn't gonna change. It's only just gonna make your curse more expensive and the radius bigger. So yeah, I don't think it's completely overtuned, but I do think it's very, very strong, especially since it does scale with Archmage. And yeah, the main way we're doing bosses is, we chuck the sigil down, and then the voltaic mark is how we increase our shock. And that's pretty much our single target, and then we just curse. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, just one more thing is it's pretty easy to get started. You don't need I think maybe like 7k mana is a good start. And I'll leave a video of me doing a pretty juicy T16 map, I think level 81 area. I think that was me at 9k mana, when I was still kind of figuring out what I was doing. And it clears fine. Like, this build, anything over 10 is fine. I was just kind of seeing where I could get it. I reckon you could probably get 13k mana with like primo perfect gear. But anything over 10 and you're not really gonna die anymore. So yeah, it's pretty easy to get started. I think maybe like 10 div, and if you get around 8k, 9k mana, yeah, you should easily be able to get going with that. So yeah.